society though, especially with hey baby, you just want to hug? Yeah. In this society where we got so many, yeah, come here. We got so many people that are so quick to like just point out your deficits. Like, oh, you got all this in your pocket, all this in your cup, or you don't have enough in your cup, your teeth are too yellow, your pecs are not peckable or not impeccable,
Not
whatever
impeccable. I like that.
whatever the thing is that one can point out that just ain't enough. At the end of the day, it's only you. It's just you. It's you and your heart. It's you and what you want to leave behind. For me, it's me and all of them, of course. You got to be able to drink what you put in your cup. You got to be able to be all right with it. Some days, like I said, you may feel empty, but remember, you're not, because you're alive. You're still here to take breaths and help
Yes.
people out. And I remember, when you wrote to me that day and you were going through some things, it was really, really tough. It's like sometimes if people just open up their hearts to respond when people write them, just be responsive, not just, oh, this was great, thank you, or I hope you feel better, or TTYL only.
Yeah.
It's like respond to a person as if you were going to respond to yourself. So some of that was for you, Mark, and then some of it was for me, just to be reminded that, you know, when sometimes we can itemize our lives in ways that are just really unfair to ourselves. We got a whole lot more than what we give ourselves credit for. And there's somebody out there that wishes they could be you. They wish they could have, music and mental health hanging from their wall and a working computer and, these pecs that can, lift huge, huge tires, push heavy things and.
So I think that was not something that I included in my actual edited video of my interview with Ayanna, but I just wanted to throw that in there because that has typically been my experience with her from day one. Just giving me a lot of encouragement and a lot of advice. So to circle back before I even get into this, the first time that I ever reached out to Ayanna, I didn't know if I was going to get a response. I was not sure. It was when the Challenge All Stars season 2 came out. And then there was a particular episode that was really inspiring for me where she got into an elimination against Leah. And then she won, it looked like in pretty convincing fashion, and then went back and helped her to actually complete that elimination because Leah was having some struggles completing it. So she was like, I'm going to help you, get this win for you. Like, we're going to cross this finish line together. Even though I ultimately won and you're going home, I don't want you to leave on this type of note. So I found that inspiring. And also, I was going through struggles at that point in time due to the fact that my dad had just recently fallen ill and had a stroke on my birthday. And I reached out and I told her that. And she left me some voice notes. She didn't just say, thank you for being a fan or whatever. She actually gave me some long, detailed responses to the things that I said, and also left me some voice notes and even said, hey, I checked out your page. I like this and this about your page, sending you some love and encouragement and whatever. And I was really grateful for that. But I also thought, well, I'm just going to get those couple of messages and that's going to be that. I'm probably not going to hear from her again because that's usually the typical thing that happens when you hear from like a reality TV star or somebody who has some kind of fame. So what stood out to me, or what was surprising to me, was the fact that she consistently stayed in contact. She asked me how I'm doing, how's my family doing, It was not typical experience of what I've had with other people who have been on these shows. If I get a response at all, it's usually just kind of a, like she was saying, thanks for being a fan type of response, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's what stood out to me in particular. So I had never done an interview with somebody from TV before. I had interviewed only my family and my friends and people close to me or people that I've worked with, people that I knew on a personal level prior to her. So she was the first person that I think that I actually reached out to from reality TV asking her for an interview. And I didn't know what type of response I was going to get. I thought that I might get a no because I think that, I just didn't feel like my page is not lit at this time. I think I had less than 100 people following me, subscribed to my page at that time. It was not much engagement. I was just asking her, maybe on the strength that we have communicated back and forth and hoping for the best. Let's see what happens. So I reached out to her. I'm not going to get too much into the details, but I just asked her. I told her that she's somebody who inspires me and somebody who I have been watching and been a fan of for many years. And I would love to have her on my channel. And I told her a little bit about what my YouTube channel is about. And like I said, I feel like I have a little bit more confidence now in doing that. But at the time, I had no prior interviews and I had not many subscribers, nothing to really go off of. So I almost assumed that the answer was going to be no. She said, let's do it. Reach out to such and such person and we're going to get this done. So when we finally got around to the scheduling, I was excited. I'm like, I have Ayanna Mackins from Semester at Sea. That's the main thing that I remembered her from. Semester at Sea. I know she did some challenge seasons as well, classic challenge moments as well. And also she had recently completed, like I said, All Stars season 2, which was awesome. But my point was, I'm a fan. So I was like, man, this is amazing. I never thought she would say yes. What do you do after you get the yes? So I remember sitting down and watching every single season, her first season of Semester at Sea, and then all the road rules and challenge stuff that she did, and her challenge All-Star season again. I rewatched everything. And I actually recently found on my computer several pages of notes and questions that I had for her because I was like, I'm getting this opportunity. I have got to make sure that I'm well prepared, researched, rehearsed, and I got everything that I need. Something that she kind of kept saying to me, which I especially appreciated, was like, Mark, I'm not up here and you're down here. She was like, we're here. You're human. I'm human. I have my experiences. You have your experiences. The only difference is that in my lifetime, a lot of my experiences have been on a televised platform. That's the only difference between me and you. There's not really a difference. So I didn't feel that way. I'm like, nah, you're Ayanna. You're Ayanna Mackins. I didn't say that to her, but I was thinking to myself, nah, you're Ayanna Mackins. Nobody knows who I am. So I feel really nervous about this. Really nervous about this. So we get into the actual interview day. There was a situation that she had going on. She was helping a neighbor put out a fire that, it happened. It was just a thing that happened about the interview time. We postponed it and then we finally got our interview on. And before we got into the interview, we spoke for a little bit before I turned the recording on, and speaking to her really calmed me down because my anxiety was through the roof at that particular point in time. And I'm like, I want to make this look good. I don't want to sound stupid. I don't want to fumble over my words. I was thinking all kinds of things. And she just had a calming presence. And honestly, you look at her on her TV shows that she was on, the different situations that happened, the different fights, I was intimidated. I'm like, this is Ayanna. Not that I thought that she was going to fight me, obviously. There's no reason to, as a, someone who's just asking her interview questions, but just the idea that you build up in your head of a person based on what you see of them on the shows. You're like, this person is an intimidating presence. She was one of the nicest people. One of the nicest people I've ever met, spoken to. I got the pleasure of meeting her at Challenge Mania when they came to New York, and she was a surprise guest that showed up a few days before I saw her on the flyer. I was like, you're coming to New York? So I got to meet her in New York. Very nice person, very good person in all my experiences. So what I could just ramble on forever, but the main point of me wanting to make this particular post video is that I wanted to thank her for being the first person who ever gave me an opportunity to explore my passion and my dream of what I want to do, what I've wanted to do, and what I still want to do. And she had no specific reason to, because at that point in time, I don't think that being on my platform benefited her in any particular way in terms of like, oh, people see her on my platform and it's going to make her profile or her page more lit, or she's going to get more calls or more opportunities due to being on my specific platform. Because like I said, I had less than 100 subscribers at the time. Pretty much unknown by most people on this public platform. And she said yes right away. She said yes right away. No hesitation. And I will always appreciate her for that. I'm always going to show love for that. And we had a great interview, which if you have not seen it, check it out. I call the interviews conversations now. We had a great conversation. We had a great Zoom conversation. It wasn't live, but we talked about a large variety of things. And that's the other thing. Being my first interview, I had so many questions prepared, and we didn't really get to the majority of those questions. But I think where we did go, it taught me that you've just got to be flexible and open to whatever direction things are going to go. Like, you have your certain questions that you want to ask, but at the end of the day, you are asking that person because that's who the people want to hear speak about their life and about their experiences. And maybe you'll get things within that interview that you didn't expect, or things that other interviewers haven't gotten before from that person, and things that you didn't know, things that you didn't expect from that conversation. So she is somebody who was very reachable, very down to earth, very consistent with her communications. She gave me that first little opportunity. And through that opportunity with her and her feedback from it and telling me, like, you're good at this, I expect you to thrive at this and have success down the line. That is the little piece that I needed to push me to keep going. And I haven't done that many interviews since then. But, she was the one who encouraged me and told me that I should reach out to John Brennan. That's how I got the John Brennan interview. And then I got my interview with Wes Bergman, which was a big bucket list thing for me because Wes Bergman is my favorite challenger. So this is just me giving Ayanna her flowers. Thank you, Ayanna, for all that you do and all that you've been. I appreciate you. And that's all I got to say about that. All right, everybody, make sure if you have not done so yet, take the time to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content.